Now our trip to Louisiana is complete.
Way to go.
Awesome, Scotty.
The Blue, presented by Yellowfin, with Captain Scott Walker and Captain Steve Roger.
Anthony, how far do you live from your place where we're staying there at the Paradise Club?
An hour.
1 hour?
Yeah.
And that place pretty much got it to its running itself?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you, we were sad when we had to evacuate for 1 day, but we really enjoy that place, man.
Thank you.
Very nice.
It's appreciate that.
I love all the space you got back there to do whatever, you know, clean your fish, hang out, fireplace, freeze your fish, ice machine.
It works for us.
Park your 40-foot trailer, your 4 cars, your 3 cameramen. I mean, we like it.
Hot showers and beds for everybody.
Good food. Well, this is going to be a treat for us. You know what I mean? Anytime that we've spent on a little boat, it's usually just catching bait.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
glad you guys get to come with me.
Yeah, we're excited. I've never actually done this inshore red fishing. So, and now we've been offshore for the last 5-6 days, and these guys, they really had no effect by that oil spill. Did you guys get affected by that? I mean, besides the lack of business, the bad press, but on an environmental standpoint, nothing that you've noticed?
Not at all.
Yeah.
We've got a ton of fish, and we've got a habitat here that's pretty well unscathed.
Okay. Now
we've been everywhere, offshore, near coastal. You're going to take us backcountry, and we haven't seen a sign of oil. Mother Nature just knows how to take care of itself. You know, that was natural oil. It wasn't refined oil, so I think it was easier for the environment to absorb.
Take it back in. That makes a lot of sense. Yep. Now they tell me I can catch a bass right in here, so.
All you want.
Yeah. So at some point you see a bass spot, I want to do a bass.
We'll do it all.
I want to do a bass, a redfish, and a tuna in this one trip. You know what I mean?
You bet.
What was really exciting to me and you both is, we don't get off into the backwater often. You know what I mean? Maybe for a few minutes in the morning to catch live bait.
Yeah.
Most of the time
we're in and we're out.
Yeah. But we actually got to spend the whole day inshore. We had a front approaching, and we got Anthony was fired up. He's like, man, the conditions are perfect for topwater plugs. I mean, you got early morning, you got schools of mullet getting crushed by these redfish, flat calm, and we went in there with topwater plugs, and that's what it's about to me.
Yeah. We didn't need the live bait with the mullet.
Yeah.
You
can catch a fish 20 different ways, but there are 1 or 2 really cool ways to catch a fish, and topwater plugs are about as cool as you get.
Oh. Professional. It's hitting my rod and that leader knot.
Oh!
He's coming. Oh, I gave up. Boy, come on. He's got to come back for another look.
That was pretty sweet, dude. You see his head come out?
Oh, he's on you.
Oh! You got one fish. Thanks for chumming him up, baby.
First cast, second cast, you're into a redfish. I mean, your trip's set. You came to catch a redfish, one of the top guides in the country, gives you a rod, shows you how to work it, and wham, you're hooked up. You get that first explosion, and you look, and his back's out of the water, and your lure's gone.
Yeah. Like, no, that lure was, it was actually backwards in his throat. These things pull. That one is right here still, Scott. I thought I was going to whip him in the boat.
Oh, boy. Get in there. That's hardcore stuff. I'm in him. Come on. Come on, baby. Boom, 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 boom.
Now, do I lip him or what, boss?
No, we're going to net him, but do you see that other fish right there still? Right behind your hooked fish?
I let him up a little bit. He might have
spooked out.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There's a bunch of those coins. I'm going to get him. Maybe switch to the chartreuse she-dog right here. You may be able to get an extra strike or 2 out of it. All right.
Man, that is pretty.
Wow, look at this. Nice job, Stevie.
That is pretty, buddy. Look at the lure, dude.
He took it head first. What lure? Can you see that right there? He took it head first.
That was on the stall.
Walking it, come on.
And that's an average size fish right there.
Yeah, there's a ton of these fish out here. This is about a 28 incher.
Okay.
But they range, you know, from 28 to 48 inches all along the coast this time of the year.
And so that's not a keeper for a guy looking to catch something and keep it, right? I mean, he's got to be within a slot of...
Yeah, they typically would like to be in the slot of 16 to 27. We can keep one over 27 inches, you know. This fish would be a good edible size fish.
Okay.
It's not too much over 27 inches, but we don't like to keep the giant ones. They're just not real tasty. They've got a strong bloodline in them, and they're breeders too. They make a lot
they make
of
more of them. Exactly. Oh, that's awesome, man.
Let's let this fish go.
Yep. I think that was my first cast. That worked out pretty well.
Come on.
Oh, there was the bite. Hey, Cap, have you reeled till you feel the fish?
you got to be real careful what you say around here.
Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. Yeti, wildly stronger, keep ice longer. Simrad, brought to you by the new Simrad NSS Sport touchscreen display, and by Costa Sunglasses and Tailwalker Charters.
It didn't finish me off.
Oh, dude, come back. He just gave it a... Oh, come on.
Take it, baby.
Come on.
Oh!
Oh, there was the bite. Hey, Cap, have you reeled till you feel the fish?
Oh, you got to be real careful what you say around here.
Set yourself up for that one, Anthony.
Come on. Oh, yeah!
I seen that bite. Oh, no. Captain's got a little tournament in him. I see it. I see it coming out.
He found a hole and we're in it. Oh, yes, the chugger is gone. I'm right in the hole. I'm right in his hole. Right in the hole. He was airborne when he got it. Filled right in behind you.
Now, should I fish that lure all the way back to the boat?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. I keep dropping myself short
come
there.
at least, 20 feet from the boat. And even when you start to reel it in, keep an eye on that lure and make sure that
he's not right there.
He's not sitting right under it. Good shot. Whoa, back there, fish on. That's a nice one. See his tail?
Yeah. I saw his back.
What you got?
I got me here. Oh, come on. Oh, no, I still got him.
That's a big one.
Nice fish, man.
Excellent.
This does not get old, Anthony.
Might be bigger than Scott.
Actually, Scott hadn't caught one yet.
I wasn't going to say that. It's a lot bigger than mine. Look at that one.
Actually, I'm sorry.
Look at that one. Woo!
Which one, Anthony, are you talking about?
That's a solid fish.
That's a beautiful fish, man. We hear him drumming, too.
You hear that?
Yep.
Every one of them make that noise. Wow. Look at the gut on him.
Yeah, he's a heavy one. He's got some mullet in there.
Plumb full. Got a few extra spots on that.
Yeah. Killer lighting. Perfect time.
Need to get a real big one. This is just warm up.
Hey, I like the warm up.
I'm like, when am I going to get mine? And you're in your second fish, and I'm still casting. I think I'm doing the same thing. I'm watching you. I'm watching Anthony. I'm not getting bites. Some blow-ups. But then finally I got into it, and it's like, what's cooler than that? Because, I mean, who's more excited than me fishing on a boat?
Yeah, that's some cool fishing. Obviously, it's weird how, like, yeah, I'm hot. Then I go cold, man. And then, then somebody else, you're hot.
Oh,
and then
lucky
nobody else.
You
and
were
then,
making fun of me.
Yeah.
I would have got even.
Yeah. and then Anthony, the same thing. It's kind of neat how that actually happens on a boat. And I see that all the time.
You liking this?
Oh, yeah.
What are these mullet trying to eat?
They're
Plankton.
just spawning and flipping, right?
Just the plankton, huh? That's
it.
why they like these grassy areas. Evidently have more plankton in them. You got one looking at you. Is he on it? Where'd the bait go?
Walker, you got
He
it.
sucked it in. Way to go.
Walker, I'd ask you what that bite felt like, but
My lure just disappeared, all quiet. Like, that's a really big hole.
it's a nice fish right there, buddy.
Now this rod's complete. Sailfish, blackfin, yellowtail, and redfish. I'm afraid we're not going to be seeing this lure. It's going to be one of those easy outs for you, Anthony.
I see it.
Oh, no,
Yeah, you're
it
good.
is. I know your spot counter. What's the most spots ever?
50 plus.
50 plus. I
Yes.
knew I'd ask. They still have.
That's when you lost count.
Yes.
Did it look? I mean, 50s.
No, you're gonna count. I don't remember what the actual number was, but when you see a fish that's just, covered like a speckled trout, you're gonna count and take note because you don't see
that
too many
often,
of those thoroughly covered fish with spots.
Now our trip to Louisiana is complete.
Way to go.
Awesome, Scotty.
I do want to stick my hand in there with these pliers hooked to them.
Oh, sorry,
Sorry,
buddy.
buddy.
No teeth in there, huh? Just a little bit of sandpaper.
That's it. Top ones are a little bigger, and the bigger the fish get, the more pronounced they become. They'll tear you up pretty good if you're not careful.
Look how healthy he is. No marks, no hysteria, no nothing. No lumps on his head. We've been catching a variety of fish this week with predator scars, and some healing, some fresh. But even the ones that were marked up, they're healthy, and
This fish
Ready
is
to rock and roll?
textbook healthy.
there you go. Thank you very much.
Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Mercury, Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here, and by King Sailfish Mounts and Spear One.
You know, memories are very important to us as we're fishing these days, and with technology, we got great cameras out there and cell phones that take incredible pictures. And what's very important is getting that shot when that fish is lit up. You know, it's pretty quick, it's on the water. You know, these fish have a lot of different colors, and once that fish has spent some time out of the water, he loses a lot of that. So it's really important to me with my customers to try to capture all those colors. The other ultimate thing to have as a memory holder is a mount. You know, you can take a fish that your son caught or your daughter, or heck, even a good friend of yours, and they catch these really amazing fish, and you can have them mounted. And what that does is that really gives like a lifelike memory of that moment. So every time you see that mount, you think of that day, that time spent with family and friends, and what great times you had. It's very important that that fish looks lifelike to me, whether I'm taking a picture of them or if I'm getting them out. And it's really difficult to find an artist who understands that. Well, with King Sailfish Mounts, these guys have it dialed in. I mean, these fish are so lifelike. It's hard to believe that they can actually capture those colors with paint, but they somehow figured it out, and it's an amazing piece of art. You know, these guys spend a lot of time on the water. They spend a lot of time around fish. They come out with some of the best designs that I've seen on these fish patterns. You know, if you're going to go through the trouble of mounting a fish and taking the steps to do this, what you're going to want is the very best appearance. You're going to want that fish to look lifelike. These guys can even create like a whole marine scene. You know, I've had some of my customers get flying fish, spraying out in front of dolphin running. These guys even do little ballyhoo that they can put out in front of the sailfish jumping, sailfish swimming. They do it all. And you don't have to kill the fish to get the mount. If you can just get a measurement off the fish, these guys have been doing it so long that they have molds for every size fish that swims out there in the ocean. So it's a really neat thing to be able to turn that fish loose and at the same time have that replica made, have it in the house, and be able to talk about it for years and years and years and bring those memories right back like it happened yesterday. Want to be on our show? Well, check us out on Facebook and find out how you can win an opportunity to come fishing with Scott and I on Into the Blue.
Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Cigar, always the best fishing line. Okuma Fishing Tackle, there's no stopping Okuma. Marine Formula Stable, for everyday optimal performance and protection. And by Ameritrail Boat Trailers and Under Armour.
Over the last 80 years, we have lost about 1,900 to 2,000 square miles. What is known as America's wetlands, the seventh largest delta on Earth, originally about 4,000 square miles. The fundamental reason is that after the 1927 flood, this country, for all the right reasons, nobody's questioning it, effectively encapsulated the river into these large levees in order to maintain navigation and to protect against flooding. There was a consequence, and that was this marsh and swamp, so dear to all of us down here, ceased to be fed with the freshwater sediment and nutrients. And over a period of time, there has been a slow destruction of it. In addition, I've got to say that in the 30s and 40s, we dug navigation canals to tie major communities to the Gulf of Mexico. And also during that period of time, there was a lot of oil and gas activity. Each of those issues, both the digging of canals and the oil and gas activity, was based upon best practices at the time. It caused some damage. But the fact of the matter is we were coming out of depression, going in and out of 3 different wars, and people did not think of the wetlands as being wetlands and important. They thought of them as being wastelands, quite frankly. Be that as it may, the real issue about all of this is you've got to go back to the fundamentals. The Mississippi River made us, and quite frankly, under these circumstances, the Mississippi River will, at the end of the day, be our salvation. The intrusion of salt water continues. The further destruction of wetlands continues as well. And that will not stop until such time as we can reverse this massive issue that we're facing today. The work that's being done by the state in conjunction with the federal government and in conjunction with the Corps of Engineers as an arm of the federal government is ongoing. And what we need is to convince this country that the cost of not doing this is literally the destruction of South Louisiana as we know it. The absolute movement of 1.5 million to 2 million people, the destruction of towns and communities, national railway systems, highway systems, and everything else that forms an integral part of the lifestyle of people who live and work in this country today. The cost to this country will make Katrina look like a blip in the ocean. This is a matter of national imperative, and I suggest it's something we need to do.
Now, the first fish we caught, we saw a fish trailing. Is that pretty often, or?
Oh yeah, these redfish are highly competitive in this region. Lots of times we'll reel a redfish in, he'll have another one behind him, if not 2, 4, 6 more behind him.
Really?
Yes.
So you slow down sometimes in a situation.
Where is your lure?
Keep the eye on him and see what you see, huh?
That's it. Never take your eyes off the water. One of the most important things we used to do in the tournaments is the net man would always go to the side of the boat with a rod in his free hand, because if you saw a fish, you had to get a hook in there, and you might hook that one fish that made the difference.
That made the difference. You're exactly right. Well, that's a good one there, buddy. That's a mullet-eating redfish.
Oh! He spit it out
a clean release.
That's all right. That's all right.
Look what he did.
You
to
got
my
the
hook.
Yeah, right on the point, right on the spot.
Look, as soon as you lose one, you hook one, so ain't no big deal.
Dancing by that little rope. Who do you tournament fish with, Anthony?
Captain Billy Walbaum is my tournament partner.
I got you.
He guides with me at
We've
the
met
lodge.
Captain Billy this week at the dinner table. He's also helped us out of a couple jams with our truck.
He's a jack of all trades, but an incredible fisherman to boot.
I got you. Well, he's been more than helpful with us this week. I definitely want to get some time on the water with him.
That one looks a little darker, you know? Oh, there's a fish with him, too.
Yep.
Was there really?
Yep, there sure is.
Well, he's about to get caught.
Well,
Unfortunately, I just cut off my soft plastic to show you guys some tricks of the trade.
This one is a lot more copper.
Captain, I'm due for a trick.
You get a bite, we're right behind you. Dropping them down. There you go. Thank you.
Awesome.
He's got some yellow in him.
He looks good with that yellow plug in his mouth, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I'm only getting 1 spotters. All right.
Beautiful. These aren't juveniles by any stretch.
All right, well, how old are they?
This is probably a 5 or 6 year old redfish right here. You know, anything in that 10 to 12 pound class. They grow pretty rapidly, and fortunately in this area the Mississippi River brings in so many nutrients that they've got a smorgasbord of bait, and they just are able to eat a real healthy diet and grow at a rapid pace.
Look how healthy his fins are there. I mean, this one's really standing out. That's awesome.
Beautiful.
So we got this is a 5-year-old fish here, and so the tournament slots you're thinking 3 to 5 year olds is what you're after.
Pretty much so, yeah. You might get one that's a little bit older that got stunted in growth, but other than that,
He got stunted in growth. He just slow at the dinner table.